meeting. Be with all those who've gathered here along with our mayor and city council members. Bless them all. May they feel your presence near in their discussion and decisions made. We pray your blessing upon our community. Keep us safe and well, and bless those who are going through difficult times, remembering all those from the tornado of several months ago and the help that has been given to them, and all throughout our state that need our help and support. Bless all those who are first responders. Keep them safe and well, and guide and direct us in all that we do and say. May your name be blessed in this meeting, for we pray through your holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bald spot.
Tim, I'll let you be first so you can stay or go. Go ahead and get up.
Good evening. My name's Tim Buckley, and I'm a candidate for Jefferson Circuit Court Judge, Division 9. First of all, I'd like to thank the council for the opportunity to speak tonight. The role of the courts has been the subject of great debate recently. There's a need to balance public safety with the protection of individual rights. But at its best, our legal system is founded on the principle that all people are equal before the law. Well, that's not always been true in practice. It's something we must always keep working for. I believe that the courts can provide a fair, efficient, and neutral forum for all people. And I believe that the role of a judge in that process is to ensure that all people are treated with respect and fairly. There are 6 people running for this circuit court seat, and each of them bring significant assets to the table. What I bring is the greatest depth of experience, as well as legal knowledge, temperament, impartiality, and an ability to listen. Specifically, I can point to my 33 years of experience working in the courts. During that time, I've had the opportunity to work for many excellent judges, including Irv Mays, Tom Wine, and Bill Knopf. I've gained a deep understanding of courtroom practice and procedure, and I've gained an expertise in a wide range of legal practice fields. And perhaps more importantly, I've contributed to the development of the law, writing over 1,600 opinions for my judges, and over 90 of those opinions are published in the casebooks. I can also point to my lifetime commitment to public service and volunteerism, which shows that I've been involved in community issues for a long time. But it's not just my experience that counts. The experiences of everyone who comes before the court count as well. It is not enough that I believe in the rule of law. I want to ensure that the public has confidence in our courts and in our legal system. So I'm asking for your support, not just for myself, but for a commitment to excellence, justice, and fairness for all people of Jefferson County. So again, thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I ask for your vote for Tim Buckley for Circuit Court Judge, Division 9 in the May 17th primary. And for more information about me, please check out my website, timbuckleyforjudge.com. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
You are welcome to stay around and listen to the Gold Star Monument, the playground, and everything else we got going on tonight, or move to a different location if you got to keep on going. I understand that. So if you stay 10 minutes, stay 2 minutes, or however you want to do. Thank you. Jeff.
Seems like the inappropriate time to bring this up with all the other good news that people are bringing to you. I asked 3 questions of the city in an open records request. The first response to the question was, we don't know how many employees have had COVID vaccine. The second was, there's not a city policy regarding vaccine at this time. The third one was a request to give me the number of COVID sick days of leave that had been taken since December 31st, 21. The response from Holly French was, we don't track the number of days employees have been out due to COVID. Well, that doesn't seem right. Is that the way you run an office? Councilman just reported last week that there were 5 in Public Works. There's probably 1 sitting in front of me right now. And I know of 1 in the police department that his whole family and him got sick. Jeffersontown just lost 2 good officers who I believe were retired, but nevertheless, they were lost to COVID. Now, I don't know what the ultimate response to the city should be, but I'm offering a vision of the future because the 3 of you in front of me right now, I'm looking at, one of you is going to be the mayor. Kentucky League of Cities, I believe, is a carrier for city insurance. How can they not raise insurance for a city that's unvaccinated? Just, it doesn't make sense in the way insurance works. Health department, healthcare coverage will go up. Life insurance, if you insure people through the city. Retirement, how can it not change? You know, when the actuaries at the retirement figuring out people may go earlier to get retirements than wait longer. So these things should or may happen. I'm just a little flabbergasted. Mayor, the thing about it is, I've had COVID. I'm sure others in here have had COVID. It's not a mark on anyone for having COVID. To me, it seems the mark is for not having a measured response for dealing with it. A lot of the council in the last few months is about what the new mayors are going to get, and by extension, what the new council people are going to get. So there could be 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many new councilmen sitting up there. I ask that a little more thought be put into some of these things and at least make them a little more public so we don't have to do an open records request to find out what they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Reading of the minutes, February 1st, 2022.
Mayor, I would move that the minutes be approved as distributed.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign, motion carries. General fund warrant 1555.
Move general fund warrant number 1555 be approved as distributed.
Second.
Any discussion, corrections, or deletions?
I have one question on page 5. I'm pleased to see that we're participating in Shakespeare in the Park, about halfway down. Where is that being held in Jeffersontown, and where?
Yeah, it's held in the park. They want to be
Just
actually
go-
on the grass. In
Okay,
the
I
park,
didn't know
in
if we-
Veterans Park,
Veterans Park, right?
It's going to be a
on
Veterans
the
Park?
hill, up from the basketball goals.
Outstanding. This time next year, we'll be doing it in the amphitheater, so that's good. Okay, that's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Road fund warrant 942.
Make a motion to pass road fund warrant 942 as distributed.
Second.
Any discussions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. At this time, the Parks Board Committee met today and had 3 presentations. One was the baseball field, and then we had the Gold Star Monument and the playground for Plainview. So we asked the 2 people, the Parks Committee asked the 2 people if they would stay and present to the rest of you all, because the time is essential because of how long it takes to order this stuff and how long it takes to get in, and when we're trying to get it scheduled to be put in. So we're going to have them both present to the rest of the committee tonight. Now, not that one is any more important than the other, but in the interest in fairness, Not that the military is second. We let the military come first the first time, that we'll let the military come second the second time, if you all don't mind, because your all's presentation is a little longer than the playground. So Jennifer, if you would come up and present the playground, and Debbie would hand out. We were talking about the playground at the last meeting, and it came up. I think Pam was the one that mentioned, look to see if we can keep the swing frames, and we reworked it to where it could be keeping the swing frames. And then we also looked at turning the playground the opposite direction to make it ADA compliant. It was ADA compliant, but we're following the same means and method as if it was at the Veterans Park. So that if anybody's been over, you guys have been over to Plainview, you know, you go downhill to go to the playground. So this design has it to where rather than go down the hill, you walk straight into it. So it saves us a lot of money on one of the pods and saves us a lot of money on ramping by making the ADA compliant, all-inclusive playground be able to go straight into the second level and later come around to the bottom level. I'll let Jennifer go and explain and tell you what page to look on while we're going through this thing. Just to, not before she gets started, and you'll be, the pricing and layout and everything is USA Sourcewell, which is government pricing. So it does not have to be put out for bid because it's already been bid by the government, basically. So Jennifer,
On the
Mike,
last page,
Jennifer, Mike down. Thank you.
the last page, you can see a black and white site view. That is going to show you the overview of all the components and pieces of how they lay out in the area. We're not changing the size of the area. We're keeping everything the same as what that fenced area, except for the hillside. We are incorporating that hillside into the area, and they will, this is the mayor has shared, we have them come
Is that
straight
mic
off
on?
of the sidewalk.
It don't sound like it.
Does that tap the mic?
It's on.
Just move up closer, or move it to you.
Where's our button?
We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Better.
But get a little farther.
Hello?
Yeah, you got to lean into it. Lean into it. There you go.
Okay. Yes, so the playground will be able to ramp into, straight into off that hillside. And everything is going to be accessible for wheelchairs, walkers, parents that are even there at the playground with their children that may be in a wheelchair will be able to access the first top levels. You do step up to the highest point, the 72-inch. You're going to step up to that to get to a higher level. The highest level of the slides is at 80 inches. This has something for everybody, so it's something that's going to keep the younger and older entertained and wanting to come back and play. Does incorporate a piece that you all have had pre-purchased, a solo spinner that will also be in the area. So there's diversity with what is being offered. You'll have imaginative play features and social interactive features, a lot of things that are things that we are looking for when we're doing an inclusive playground. This has got it packed into it. It's going to be up to date for meeting all the ADA regulations compared to what's there now. This is designed for today's regulations. It's going to be 8-inch increments all the way through. If it's not ramped, it's 8 inches of a step for getting up to everything. And the pour in place rubber surfacing is going to keep it to where that surfacing is easy to roll over. But all the way around, it's going to be a huge improvement from what is there.
The playground was put in, so it's past the time. This a lot of the metal pieces are cones are gone. That's it's really high now. What we want to do, the timbers and build it up, so we don't have to tear it down, build it up. Mulch, I mulch, want to do this money, that this playground is entirely.
So as we presented to you before, the swing sets have gone down $20,000. And the playground, when we eliminated the one pod because we reversed it, went down $20,000. It has increased because of pandemic. I mean, it's not going to go down. That's part of the pricing, but it is U.S. pricing. So
And we're saving 18,000 on the pricing as well, looks like.
yeah, because of the discount. So you've got 40,000 off compared to what we were talking the last meeting.
2 weeks ago.
And
I have a question. What is a transfer station? I see it listed. What does that mean?
So the transfer station is required, even though it's ramped, it is required to meet ADA regulations. It is where a wheelchair can roll up to it, and a child, if they're able to get out of that wheelchair, they have assistance with having handholds
Gotcha.
to get up and out of.
Okay.
So today, any playground that goes in, it has to have a transfer station.
So they can enter on the ramp and go down the slide if they wish.
Right.
Now, is there a way for them to get from the wheelchair to the slide safely?
So the wheelchair, the structure is built where it has the large areas for them to either be able to turn their wheelchair around and go back off the ramp and back out of the area. Or yes, they can get out, they can park their wheelchair there, get out, and then go down. And from there, the assumption is that a child that is able to get out of the wheelchair, that they're going to be able to either navigate on that surfacing to be able to get back to the transfer station, whether it's also a caregiver that brings their wheelchair
I
around.
would think a caregiver would be
Yeah.
with.
So every
each one of
child
them,
is
yeah.
different. It's every need is going to be different. So it's majority of the children we see today are a wide variety of diverse issues that they're working with. So wheelchairs and walkers are just one of, but we see a lot of autism. We see a lot of just other sensory issue type things that playgrounds can be set up and designed for.
Does this address some of that?
This is also addressing some of that.
Good.
So,
That's where we've been going.
yeah.
Now, as Debbie just said, the current units over there are 26 years old.
Mhm.
What's the life expectancy on this?
That is our equipment over there. So it was designed initially to last 10 years. And that was just what the industry at the time, what they thought it would do. They didn't know. Today, everything is being made where it's stronger, better. Just to give an example, like our warranty on our slides today is 15 years. In the past, it was 10. Everything is, we've got a limited lifetime warranty on the posts. Every component has its different warranty depending upon what it's made from, but everything has improved. It's, we really don't even know. But for bumper to bumper, you're going to have, most of the components are going to at least have 15, some of them more.
This next question, the last one for me, is not part of your drawing here because it's not, I see it's not included, but at our Veterans Park, we have a swing that accommodates wheelchair accessibility.
Mhm.
And so this actually is for Debbie. Maybe you could look into that as far, because you did. Okay.
it does have the swing that locks the kid in, but we also have the one that looks like a donut or no, not bird's nest
Yeah.
too. So we have both.
Wonderful. And then since you're going to raise with timbers where the swings are, will they be able to rise up? Will there be a ramp on that or okay. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions?
I've got a couple questions, Mayor. So
Okay.
Debbie said that we're going to use compact mulch, but I'm looking at the thing and it says PIP rubber surfacing. I'm confused.
There's two separate ones there, I believe.
Maybe I don't have pictures of the swing sets. I think I just got the slides.
Yeah, I think the swing sets are the existing ones, right?
Right.
That are already at the park.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're not going to put the PIP.
Yeah, it was talked about to have the swings, the frame that's there to have it to remain, and then just switching out the components of the seats. And it recommend that when you're at that point to need that done, it's also good to replace all the hardware. So that was where it was bringing down the price considerably instead of a full replacement.
Okay, and the next question, Mary, I mean, maybe you've looked at this and maybe it's going to be done separately. What about lighting?
I'll have to ask Debbie on that because right now it works. We have, well, the tennis courts light up that whole area, to be honest with you.
So can't you use existing?
Yeah, I mean, between the pool lighting up, but the tennis courts have huge lights on them that stays on.
There may be a light over there. I know we had
I think there's
vandalism
one.
about 10 years ago over there and we had a light maybe installed then.
Two things. One, that the tennis courts have major lighting to play tennis right next to it. Second thing is they're right next to the pool pumps and everything. So if we have to put an LED lighting, we can. Swing sets, we usually, at dusk, they stop.
Okay, that's all I have, sir.
And we lost Debbie.
I think she went to look for,
But to Jennifer's point, the swing sets are what they are, and we're buying all the mechanics for her, and also the part that fits at the top is what she was talking about, because that's very essential. We do the new, how they swing, how they are safe and everything. So,
I
With-
went over there today and looked at the playground equipment. She had pictures, but you just can't tell. But it is in bad shape, like the steps, the coating's coming off, and it's thick coating. Like if a kid was to sit on their butt and scoot down the steps, I could
Yeah.
see where they could.
it wears and
Yeah.
it's probably fiberglass, so
Almost
that
look
would not
like
be good on.
rust sticking out, but it's just the thick coating pop coming off.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll leave one for Tim. Thank you.
so the,
So this is in addition to the 140, correct?
yeah, that's the swing unit.
Okay.
The recommendation from the committee, Parks and Rec Committee, was to move forward with this. Let Jennifer go ahead and order it, since we don't have to have it put out for bid, and it is something that we're trying to replace our swings over a time frame. And this is the one that's probably the most needed. We put this off during the last two sessions, and we're moving forward with it now. If that's,
Councilwoman Ware, that was your recommendation today? You want to go ahead and make the motion then?
I make a motion that we move forward with ordering the equipment.
Second.
we have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. If you need us to sign something or do something, or if you get everything ready, what needs to be done, appreciate it. You and Debbie get together and let us know so that
Do you have any kind of time frame you're looking at?
September.
After Labor Day.
Yeah.
Debbie doesn't really want it during the summertime because the pool's open. We don't want all the mud. And Jennifer said that the truck they put it on is only got first gear in it. So it won't get here till September, which is good timing and everything. So
Thank you, sir.
thank you. The next one up is, as you all know, something is very dear to my heart, is our veterans. And over time, we have talked about honoring those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And so I asked, Woody Williams is the one that is dedicated to the Gold Star people. I met Mike down at the veterans. I met Mike before. He's always in costume usually, but he always comes to our Veterans Day events. But we got talking down at Greenwood Cemetery at their Veterans Day event down in the West End about moving forward with this Gold Star monument. So he reached out to Woody's grandson and said, "You got to come talk to this council because we're ready to move forward, and we have the best of the best when we talk about our Veterans Park." So they gave a presentation to the Parks Committee, and the Parks Committee asked if they wouldn't mind staying around and presenting it to you guys. I think everybody was kind of very much touched by the presentation, so you know where we want to move forward with. So Mike and Chad, if you all would come up, or Chad, or however you want to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, first off, I want to thank the council for allowing us the time. This is, excuse me, something, as Mayor mentioned, something near and dear to our hearts. As you see, the image on the screen is the front-facing part of the Gold Star Family's Memorial Monument. In short, we at the Woody Williams Foundation are focused on honoring, recognizing, and serving Gold Star families and the legacy of their loved ones who paid that ultimate sacrifice in military service. And if you're not familiar with Gold Star families, those are families who gave one of their own so that we could all be free. And so years ago, my my grandfather had this vision for this monument. Started out with a single location in West Virginia. There are now 90 established across the country, with an additional 82 in progress in all 50 states, and one of our U.S. territories being Guam. And it makes sense in a place where you have such a prominent symbol to patriotism and our freedom being your Veterans Park, that we pay tribute to these Gold Star families and their loved ones. What you have in your packet is a general presentation about our organization. Not only are we wanting to support and help this come to fruition here in Jeffersontown, but also support other activities that support the Gold Star family community. And those are parts of who we are as an organization. That is in your packet. In addition, you'll also see a frequently asked question guide. Gives you some kind of idea about the project and some of those things that typically are asked when introduced to this project. And then in addition to that, you see a schematic and some images of the monument itself, as well as the themes that are approached. Sir, if you could click through the next image.
Well, let me see if I can find something.
Okay, this is a great example of what the other side of the monument looks like. It is a 360-degree tribute to these families. So as you saw, that gold star on the front that tells you what this monument is about. And on this side of the monument, as you see here in this photograph, this is a Gold Star daughter whose father paid that ultimate sacrifice in the military. This monument is actually in Lovettsville, Virginia. Each of those panels tell a story, and this is also, once again, in your guide in that packet, through these tablets: homeland, family, patriot, and sacrifice. And then the legacy is represented by the silhouette of a saluting service member that won't be coming home. And in terms of the layout of your park and all of the intentional narrative of how it is put together, this monument would complement that circular shape. And as you see the service member, that silhouette rendering hand salute, this would be saluting towards your central focus of the park, the Wall of Freedom, and then the presiding American flag. So in terms of direction and existing features, it's something that, being on the ground in your all's Veterans Park, it looks like it was meant to be there. And thank goodness you had the foresight to allow for space for developing a memorial such as this. If we could look at the east location, two essential locations being proposed that would be very appropriate for this tribute. We are identifying those in terms of east and west. This would be the easterly location. They are built in terms of or space. The footprint is situated so that it is already accounted for in your square blocks that you utilize in that part of your Veterans Park. So we would once again be utilizing the existing features, accentuating that, and doing it in a way where it just quite simply fits in.
Chad is the eastern location is between the tank and the helicopter. And it's in the two, we would take two of the grassy squares and make them one in order to put this in here. Right? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to get there.
yeah, that's fine.
Well, they're all messed up now, so sorry.
Essentially, when we see the use of this monument, it's on those very special days of honor throughout the year: Memorial Day, Gold Star Mothers and Families Day, Veterans Day. This becomes this is the east location discussed, and as you can see, it would occupy two of those squares, which are now vacant, situated between the tank and the helicopter. One of the interesting features of this monument, not only once again is it 360 degrees, but the sun casts a shadow through that silhouette. And the way this is situated, especially on those frames of time throughout the year, you get a very striking silhouette that is once again directed towards the central focus of your park, being freedom, and obviously this monument representing those who sacrificed for that freedom. For us, we have the special blessing of working with cities all over the country in terms of what you all have put together and have in terms of infrastructure makes what we do very easy. Typically, we're having to build something from absolute scratch. And a lot of times folks don't have the experience that this council does and Jeffersontown does in terms of successfully executing this kind of project. It's a great fit. I know that with all those special days that we mentioned, there's also a Gold Star Spouses Day, Gold Star Children's Day. Hopefully in the near future, there'll be a national or federal holiday rather for Gold Star families in general that's been proposed. There's a bill that was proposed last week in our Senate. But all of those days you see Gold Star families come out. You see the way that the monument is curved. That is meant to embrace them. And you can visualize it as Jeffersontown, this council, and everyone that lives here is supporting outside of that monument. And that Gold Star family on the other side being embraced by that, it's a very special thing that is really hard to put into words. There really aren't words. When you see the impact of that on these families, they see for many times the first time their community, really caring for them and honoring their loved ones. And it's something that we know all too well, regardless of if we are at war or not. We do have those that sacrifice their lives, most recently the 13 at the airport. So this is something that, unfortunately, there are families that have to bear that sacrifice and bear that price for our freedom. So the other thing that we did leave with Mayor is a thumb drive with all of these images, as well as an electronic version of everything that's in your packet. In terms of cost, the monument itself is fortunately all inclusive, so to speak. So everything above the infrastructure, concrete up, is one-stop shop in terms of procurement, manufacturing, shipping, and installation, all handled by the same vendor. We have a group of approved vendors across the country. We've got that down to 4 total, coast to coast. And essentially their pricing is within $1,000, one to the other, and the cost of the monument as it sits would be $55,000. And once again, that would include everything above the concrete with your all's excellent public works department and all the infrastructure you have in place. Once again, that really helps to drive the overall project cost down. If we had to work from absolute scratch, the average on these projects is between 100 and 115,000 typically. So it's a significant savings based on all the good work you've already done, and then the infrastructure that you have in place, and the capability to build the concrete foundation and to execute this monument appropriately.
This has been brought to you, as I mentioned, it went before the Parks, Rec and Park Committee, and the people that were, the council members that were there recommended it in favor to bring it to the rest of the council tonight. Again, this one has time sensitive because of the granite coming to us. We would like to go ahead and order the granite. Now, the images on the front of the wall that would face Taylor Road are resoundingly, when you drive up that hill, you'll see that curved thing, and it just touches you. On the back side of the wall, the images of the 4 different words below it. The one in the middle, that one's a set. The other ones are more. You trying again, Bill?
Yeah, trying to get to it.
Those we get to choose, and I would recommend we choose them from an array of ones that they've already picked, except for unless you want to make it unique to our area. Those 4, the Patriot is one that they use all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 3 are something that we could work with. They do like the family to be something that's all inclusive if we put it with our neighbors. And we also want to make this to where it's not exclusive to one person or one family or one group. We did that with Freedom Wall. We made sure none of the letters in our poems, our letters to and from home, were not from somebody from J-Town, and none of the pictures were from somebody from J-Town. So you want to make it unique with J-Town, but those 3 would be picked. But we can go ahead and order the grant. That comes in, I understand, Chad, it comes in, then we etch it here.
Correct.
So we have time. It's going to take 6 to 8 months to get it here. We would like to possibly have the dedication of this sometime around Veterans Day of next year. Be a perfect time, if not right before that. But that's significance is very much you would have a huge gathering at this monument at Veterans Day for sure.
Mayor, it's beautiful. I have a question. Will we need to relocate the bricks that are?
The the pavers that are in the center to eliminate are not pavers that are used at this time. They're just red bricks. We've talked with John and the G.I. Joe Post. Mm-hmm. We may, there's three different means of doing this. One is to make the concrete around this thing totally concrete, flat and level. The second one is make the concrete recessed and put brick pavers as you see them there. The third one would be to have it to where the brick pavers would be sold. You'd put natural ones in now, then we would sell ones later. John said he thinks that's probably where they want to go because they're running out of room. Now, I'll let Chad, in this picture you see right now, there's a monument on the ground right in front of it. We can get it laying down or standing up. We would get it laying down because of the way you see it right now, but I'll let you kind of tell what that stone is there.
Absolutely. And prior to that, notice on this homeland panel, this monument you see here is on our state capitol grounds here in the Commonwealth. Those images are meant to be a geographic image representation of the state, west to east. So in terms of where you can go to make this Jeffersontown centric to really reflect the history that is here is definitely something that can be done. And the artists are great to work with in terms of taking things, see the etched piece behind council, things that really speak about this community. So that is one of the things that Mayor was talking about in terms of design. The tablet that you see on the ground in front, you also see that included in your packet, is a description marker that talks about what the monument is. It talks about those themes of homeland, family, patriot, and sacrifice, as well as what Gold Star Families means. In addition to this granite piece, we are adding an additional tag that is made for granite monuments that has a QR code on it, so that when folks would walk up, they are going to get this information. They're going to get the information that's etched on that tablet. But then we have a platform to build in terms of the educational component, so that when you have school groups or you have children, and of course, I learned in about 20 pounds how to use a QR code over COVID, because that was the only way you could order food. So people are used to that technology. The reason we are not etching it on the granite is because we also know that in 10 years, there's going to be some other new technology. Mm-hmm. So it is a plate that is removable, and that comes along with this as well. And that would allow us to tie in to resources that are available here in J-Town. If it's a veteran, if it's a Gold Star family member, if it's just a member of the public. And these monuments also bring a lot of folks, we have families come from all over the country to do these monuments, regardless of where they live. So it gives you, once again, a platform to have more robust resource in terms of information and connection.
Did you mention earlier how many you did in our meeting, but did you tell the rest how many are installed right now across the?
We have 90 that are installed and an additional 82 that are in progress. We typically, for instance, this year, we will add 34 projects. We will install that many, and we will most likely, on average, in terms of what we've seen growth in the last couple of years, probably add another 25 new projects, of which this would be one we'd be honored to add to that list.
And Mayor, I think you had mentioned that you would pay half up front and half on installation, and we've got the money in the budget right now if we wanted to do it all, right?
Right.
Yep. I like what we're looking at here is really pretty. You said with Abraham Lincoln, our native son, a quote from him, and then state of Kentucky on the left.
So those three, except for the one with the flag, we would pick.
I think
we don't have to pick it tonight.
No. I'm just saying,
6
what
months.
I'm looking at right there is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But well, Pam,
Um,
your committee.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with purchasing the
Purchase and installation of the Gold
installation.
Star.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
By Carol. Any further discussion?
One
Or
question.
Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
The granite is 6 foot tall, sits on an 8-inch. Those stones at the bottom are 8-inch, so it's roughly 6 foot 8 inches tall, right?
It's 89 inches at the very peak, so just around 7 feet at the peak. One of the other things in terms of laying this out with your existing skyline, if you will, of your monuments, since it does have the slant and it's not just a solid wall, it doesn't impede. That was one of the other considerations in terms of the other monuments in the place, so that it doesn't impede any sight line.
It's 15 foot long, it looks like, too.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Motion carries. Now, I would ask for one more motion that Chad takes over the monument that's already been ordered by Shelbyville and tells Dan Ison that we're taking his monument, so we don't have to wait as long.
Called commandeering.
Commandeering. We will send the military to Shelbyville to commandeer. So you tell Chad that the council in J-Town said it's
Yeah,
ours.
we'll take it and let
No, you told the
KLC.
mayor said that. No, don't put that on.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Thank
you all
y'all so much.
staying.
forward to
If
seeing
y'all have any questions, these two are fantastic to reference and ask to. Mike, Chad.
Yeah, and I do want to recognize Mike King, our foundation secretary, and has been a huge part in building this as well. So you all have our contact information too. Any other further questions, please?
Thank you for the pins. They're very nice.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
I would like to leave with one thing. One is, I don't think you talked about Here, Woody Williams is the last living Medal of Honor recipient from World War II. Fought on Iwo Jima. He was a Marine.
Marine,
like his
yeah.
dad. And, but when you talk to Woody, what would he rather talk about? Gold Star families,
Yeah.
not what his exploits were. And then some people have questioned, they said, what's the importance of this? Because there's so many monuments that are around. And the story I always like to tell is, because I helped build the one at Fort Knox. And when you build something, you're very protective. You know, so I go down there and I was really getting aggravated because on the right side by the sacrifice panel, you have a wife leaning over the tombstone with her son putting flowers on it. Sorry, still emotional. Anyways, I kept going there and I kept going, what is wrong with this stone? You know, and I kept taking Windex and water and wiping off the edge of it, not understanding why there was this funny looking smudge on the side of it. And one day I was down there and checking it out. I had flags there, I changed them. And I noticed that there was a mother and her husband were leaning on it with their hands. And the smudges were from people coming up and leaning on it.
Makes it unique. It's wonderful.
It does, and it also shows that the monument supports the Gold Star families. So anyway, I thought that's an interesting story, and everybody asked, if I still wipe the smudges off? Then the answer is no, I leave the smudges on there. So
Well, I can promise you our mayor will be the first to smudge it. He's
a lot.
he
For smudging.
he tears up and he's tearing up now. Look at him.
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you all so
smudging.
much. We're really excited.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you
Thank you.
staying. All right, let us know what we need to move forward with, Mike or Chad. Okay, get with us. First reading of Resolution 687, 2022. It allows the mayor to sign a agreement with the on the phase 2 of the streetscape on Waterston Trail. It's additional funds that we have got in order to finish the project.
Mayor, I make a motion for approval of resolution number 687, series 2022 by title only.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
First reading of resolution number 687, series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute memorandum of agreements. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item on the first reading resolution 688 series 2022. This is an extension of Derby City Tennis. And nothing has changed in it. They have been doing very well. Debbie can answer any questions, but we have had was it this past year they had the tennis? And as you all know, when we originally set this up, that J-Town residents play on the clay fields free.
You know,
nothing.
Debbie,
Go ahead.
back in the 70s, those courts were overflow courts for Louisville Tennis Center, the clay courts, when we had circuits coming through back then. And so I love that we're doing that. And I'm glad that they're bringing seniors. Yes.
Didn't Blairwood have something over there at one time too? Big tournaments? I think it's called Blairwood. What's it called, Mayor?
Well, now there is a Blairwood.
Yeah, there's a Blairwood.
That's still on
They had
First Spring
some-
Lane.
They had some big tournaments.
Yeah, they got indoor
back in the day.
courts though.
Yeah, they don't have clay. These are clay. But
Indoor.
yeah, they do have indoor. I think they're not clay. They're regular.
No, they're
I'm talking
indoor.
tennis in general.
But ours
Yeah.
our clay courts were used back in the 70s as overflow courts. I do have a question about this.
But Blairwood, to answer your question, does have tennis courts, yes.
Now, and of course, we have a 4-year-old contract. And this paperwork we're looking at is for this year. My question is two things. Do we need to codify the old contract to bring it up to date since the old contract specifically has the date in it, or is it okay the way it is?
No, basically, you're just extending and reauthorizing an existing contract.
Okay.
As if you had written it all out
Well,
again.
and the reason, and the other part of that is because now we have pickleball on those courts as well, correct?
Yeah, that doesn't change anything.
It doesn't
That's
change-
That's hard court.
Right, the hard courts.
Yeah.
So,
They manage that too.
but
That's
is
an
there,
interesting management.
I bet because there's the pickleball, and I've never played it, but it looks like it's, of course, a tremendous following of people doing it now. But is there a problem with scheduling with pickleball and tennis? It, okay, I just didn't know if we needed. So the tennis courts would be inclusive of the pickleball. It doesn't need to be spelled out or specified. Okay, that's all I have then.
Okay, well, can I make a motion?
Sure can.
Everybody done? I'll make a motion to first reading of resolution number 688, series 2022 by title only.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Resolution number 688, series 2022, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a one-year contract extension with Derby City Tennis LLC for management of the Plainview Tennis Center. That concludes first reading. You may entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Committee reports. Ron?
Mayor, I have nothing to report. However, there is something that's been bothering me, and I think maybe we should do something or we don't have to. With you running for mayor of Louisville, do you feel at all intimidated by somebody coming up and shooting you? Like,
No.
no?
No.
Okay.
The situation that occurred yesterday was a one-off, and I'm familiar with everything that's happened.
That's all I got.
Okay. To answer your question, yes, I very much, the police department is aware of surroundings that be here. We have a full-time police department, so they are aware. And if any point in time that I am in danger, they would be with me. Thank you, though. Thank you for your concern. Appreciate it. Vince?
Public Works has no report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Nothing from economic development, but happy 21st birthday to Ron.
Thank you.
Pam?
Happy birthday, Ron.
Thank you.
I have nothing to report.
Seems like
After
Ronnie's birthday is the best thing
That
going
is-
tonight,
That
buddy.
is what
right.
we will be
I think you're
reporting
right.
on.
Yeah. Well, you've already done your report with
Yeah.
The meeting.
everything else you got going on. Carol?
The only thing that I have from safety is that the people on Gutenberg, I've had 3 calls over there about them wanting a stop sign. So I went over there and looked at it. And so I called Chris Layback and I told him that if he needs to get his neighbors involved. And because where this stop sign would go right in this person's front yard. And I can't imagine us putting that there without them saying that it's okay. So I asked him to please get, the neighbors together and to please get us signatures and that we will look at it from there. Pam went over there. I called her and she went over there as well. It's kind of a strange situation where they want this stop sign, but that's the only thing that I've recommended so far on that. So
Okay.
sorry, just got
They're
Carol,
going to bring it to us.
yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have on that.
Ray, anything else, Carol, before I go?
No.
Okay, thanks. Ray?
Mayor, I have nothing to report. I want to commend you on your response to that shooting. That was terrible. And I can tell you that the 3 of us has already discussed it. There will be no shooting amongst us. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Brian?
Mayor, Finance has no official report. A happy birthday to Ronnie, of course, and happy belated Valentine's to everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
I appreciate the comments about the shooting. It was an interesting day. We have been interviewed several times on what we believe and what we should be doing, both as mayor of J-Town and as candidate for mayor of Metro Louisville. I'll be happy to discuss that with you all and how we look forward. But it was a situation that was one person going after one person. It's not something that's growing other ways because I am familiar with the whole case. not just the reported case, with the advantage of having our own police department, but I'm not allowed to speak of everything here. The items that the mayor's remarks tonight, they're the funding request, just to let everybody know, has to be in by February 28th. We have a couple, 2 or 3 in right now. And the meeting on March 1st will be the one, if anybody wanted to present their funding request, they could come speak to it. An update on the baseball. We updated the parks and committee today, and they were very busy. We got a lot in the hour, as you can see what the presentations were tonight. Baseball, as we told the parks, field 1 and 2 will be worked on this spring. 3 and 4 will be at the end of September, and Bill was able to find some different type of grants, several grants, and Debbie's looking into them to possibly do the Challenger Field. And the Parks Committee asked it once we do that to see if we want to do it as a Challenger Field or if we want to take it back to dirt. Debbie recommended we keep it a Challenger Field because it's one of our most heavily used fields and it's a turf field. But she will investigate the grant and investigate what it's going to roughly cost. It'll be around 80 to 100,000. And then bring it back to the committee for review to recommend to you all at a later date.
Will they be able to use fields 1 and 2 this year, Mayor?
Yeah, that's why we're doing 1 and 2 right now, because they don't have any grass they have to work on. The grass is good. It's just laser grading and whatever else they do. That's why we're not doing 3 and 4 right now, because 3 and 4, they cut the grass off and put new sod down. And I don't want them to cut sod right now in February, because one thing, it won't work. And your best growing season for grass is the end of September. You can't get any better time. I'll have somebody raise their hand in the back and agree with the mayor, if that is true. Thank you. That wasn't a very good raise of hand. You got to agree with the mayor more than that, Mike.
He's going to say year round.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the best growing time. So the other 2 have growing they need to do, and that's the end of the season. So we both have several months rather than several weeks to try to get that to take, and then going into the next year. And then again, the grant would be the thing to look at the Challenger Field. Jimmy, Debbie, and I met. Chris gave us a punch list about this long, and we worked out who's doing what and when and everything else to get ready for the season. And then the next thing, Debbie will be getting one for the pool done too, getting everything ready. So summer is on its way, if you ask Parks and Public Works. So it's all good. With that, there's one thing we have to sing Ronnie a happy birthday, or just go for it and let him go. We can either sing a happy birthday or he can do what he does best.
Mayor, if there's no other business, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Great meeting. Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Happy birthday, hon.
Thank you.